The early life of a genius, Albert Einstein's childhood and education. In the quiet town of Ulm, in the Kingdom of Württemberg, on March 14, 1879, a child was born who would one day unravel the mysteries of the universe. Albert Einstein, with his wide, curious eyes and untamed curiosity, was the first child of Hermann Einstein, a humble salesman turned engineer, and Pauline Koch. The Einsteins were secular Ashkenazi Jews living during the height of the German Empire. Though their religious ties were faint, their cultural heritage ran deep, and it was in this environment that young Albert's intellect would take root. By the time Albert was just 1 year old, the family packed their bags and moved to Munich. The bustling borough of Ludwigsvorstadt became their new home, where Hermann Einstein and his brother Jakob founded Elektrotechnische Fabrik J. Einstein & C., a company specializing in electrical equipment powered by direct current. The world was electrifying rapidly, and Hermann wanted to be part of this industrial surge. Yet, for little Albert, the electric machines in his father's workshop were more than mechanical devices. They held the promise of a world governed by unseen forces. A fascination with the invisible forces. There is a story Albert loved to tell later in life. As a child, he once lay sick in bed, watching the world from his window, when his father handed him a simple compass. Albert gazed at it, transfixed by the steady movement of the needle that mysteriously aligned itself with the magnetic field. That needle, twisting and turning with some invisible force, ignited a question in his mind. What unseen hand governs this? At just 5 years old, Albert sensed that behind the world of tangible objects lay something far deeper, something hidden. This moment would be the seed of a lifelong passion for uncovering the mysteries of electromagnetism and the forces that shape the universe. Einstein's early schooling began at St. Peter's Catholic Elementary School in Munich. The irony of a Jewish boy attending a Catholic school was not lost on him, but the young Einstein thrived academically, showing early signs of a budding genius. At the age of 8, his parents transferred him to the prestigious Leupold Gymnasium, where he would receive a more rigorous education. Yet, this was no ordinary childhood. Even as a boy, Einstein was restless, always seeking something that the rigid walls of his school could not offer: freedom. The gymnasium's strict focus on rote memorization stifled him, and he often rebelled against the mechanical repetition of facts. Struggles and breakthroughs, a restless mind in a rigid system. In 1894, Einstein's life took an unexpected turn. His father's business struggled to compete in an industry, rapidly shifting from direct current to the more efficient alternating current. The failure to secure vital contracts forced Hermann and Jakob to close their factory doors. The family, always in search of better opportunities, moved once again, this time to Italy. They settled first in Milan and later in Pavia. But young Albert, then 15, remained behind in Munich, alone, to finish his schooling. This separation did not sit well with the teenage Einstein. The rigid, militaristic atmosphere of the gymnasium clashed with his independent spirit. The discipline was suffocating, and he found the school's teaching methods tedious and uninspiring. He later described this experience as an intellectual imprisonment, one that stifled creativity and curiosity. It was during this period of isolation that Einstein made a bold decision. He would leave school and reunite with his family in Italy. Under the guise of illness, Einstein persuaded a doctor to write a letter to the gymnasium's administrators, and by the end of 1894, he was on his way to Pavia, in Italy, far from the confinements of formal schooling. His mind bloomed. Freed from the rigid expectations of the German education system, Einstein spent his time immersed in scientific inquiry. It was during this period that he wrote an essay titled On the Investigation of the State of the Ether in a Magnetic Field, a paper that would foreshadow his future explorations into the nature of light and electromagnetism. A self-taught prodigy, the foundations of a scientific mind. From an early age, it was clear that Albert Einstein was no ordinary student. While other children played in the streets, he immersed himself in the mysteries of numbers and shapes. By the age of 12, Einstein had begun teaching himself advanced mathematics, from algebra to calculus. Geometry, in particular, captured his imagination. He devoured books on Euclidean geometry, solving complex problems with ease and even discovering an original proof of the Pythagorean theorem before he turned 13. The family had a tutor, Max Talmud, who became something of a mentor to young Albert. Talmud would often bring books on mathematics and philosophy, eager to nurture the boy's talents. That soon enough, even Talmud found himself left behind by Einstein's accelerating mind. He had worked through the whole book, Talmud recalled. Soon, the flight of his mathematical genius was so high I could not follow. By the time Einstein was 14, he had mastered integral and differential calculus, an achievement far beyond his years. More than just a student of numbers, Einstein developed a profound belief that the universe was fundamentally mathematical in nature, a structured and ordered system that could be unlocked with the right equations. The world beyond mathematics, music, philosophy, and Kant. By the age of 13, Einstein's intellectual passions began to broaden. Alongside his love for mathematics, he developed a deep appreciation for music and philosophy. It was during this time that Max Talmud introduced him to the writings of Immanuel Kant, specifically Critique of Pure Reason. Kant's dense, abstract ideas about human understanding and perception resonated with young Einstein, and Kant became his favorite philosopher. Talmud marveled at Einstein's ability to comprehend such difficult texts at such a young age. Kant's works, Talmud would later say, incomprehensible to ordinary mortals, seemed to be clear to him. The path to Zurich, challenges and successes. In 1895, at the age of 16, Einstein sought admission to the prestigious Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich, now known as ETH Zurich. However, despite excelling in physics and mathematics, he struggled with the broader entrance exams, particularly in non-scientific subjects like languages. Undeterred, Einstein took the advice of the Polytechnic's principal and completed his secondary education at the Argovian Cantonal School in Aarau, Switzerland. Living with the family of Jos Winteler, Einstein thrived in this more relaxed and progressive academic environment. He formed close bonds with the Winteler family, falling in love with their daughter, Marie, his sister, Maya, later married Marie's brother, Paul, further intertwining their families. By 1896, Einstein graduated, excelling in mathematics and physics, and officially renounced his German citizenship to avoid compulsory military service. The young man's journey had taken him far from the rigid classrooms of Munich to the open intellectual fields of Switzerland. Love, physics, and a partner in science. In the fall of 1896, Einstein enrolled in the four-year mathematics and physics teaching diploma program at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic. Among his classmates was a 20-year-old Serbian woman, Mileva Maric, one of the few female students at the school. Over the next few years, Einstein and Maric formed a close intellectual partnership, often discussing their shared passion for physics. They spent hours together exploring theories and ideas, delving into topics that were far beyond the scope of their formal studies. For Einstein, it was a joyful escape from the solitary reading of textbooks, and soon their friendship blossomed into romance. The debate over Mileva's influence. Historians have long debated the extent of Mileva Maric's influence on Einstein's work, particularly during his Annus Mirabilis of 1905, when he published 4 groundbreaking papers that reshaped the world of physics. Some scholars suggest that Marek contributed significantly to Einstein's ideas, particularly in the realm of early quantum theory and relativity. Others argued that her role was more supportive than intellectual. While the true extent of her influence remains uncertain, it is clear that during their time together, Einstein found a kindred spirit in Mileva. The road ahead, a star on the rise. By the time Einstein graduated in 1900, his path was set. The boy who had once gazed at a compass in wonder was now on the verge of unlocking the secrets of the universe. His education, shaped by both formal schooling and his own relentless curiosity, had prepared him for a journey that would change the course of human knowledge.